on the farm, we are making baleage, which a lot of people are like, isn't that just hay? Not quite. Let's get into it. Long story long, basically what baleage is a fermented forage that allows us to give our cattle a really high nutritional quality feed all throughout the winter. And unlike hay, baleage is baled at a much higher moisture content than hay would be. Is absolutely everything when it comes to baleage, because we want to make sure that the nutritional quality is as high as possible, but also that the moisture is just right, because we want the fermentation process to be perfect. People see the plastic and they're like, ooh, I don't know about all of that, or it kind of rubs them the wrong way. And I'm right there with you, right? We don't want to use an excess of plastic. But it's really important to this process because you have to keep all of the oxygen out in order for the fermentation process to happen the way that it's supposed to. You don't want moldy hay. You don't want to feed your animals anything with mold. So it's really important that you get it just right, that you make it airtight. That way the fermentation process is foolproof. And once these bales are fermented properly, they will last basically forever. I mean, they will last months, even into the dead of winter. They are our primary feed source all throughout the winter. Last year, we cut ourselves a little bit short. We did not bale nearly enough, even though we actually thought we were going to have extra. It didn't happen that way. Drought will get you every single time. So this year we are erring on the side of caution, and we are making sure that we have as much baleage as we possibly can off of our ground. Big investment up front. So not only do you have the cost of your labor, but you also have the cost of the equipment itself. So A bale wrapper is not a cheap piece of equipment. We just upgraded ours this year. It's already proving that it was so worth the money, but you have to take that into consideration that it's not just the bale anymore. It's a wrapped bale, and the plastic as well is not a cheap cost when it comes to this process. So very labor intensive. Takes infrastructure, or not infrastructure, but definitely equipment and then material as well. What I will say is it saves us time, and it definitely saves us feed cost in the long run. It saves us from loss because the plastic is sealing that hay, it's sealing that quality for the baleage, and we're not seeing so much wasted. Our cows are cleaning it up. They're not wasting a lick of it. They absolutely love it. So we're not just, scooping it up into the manure pile, into the compost pile, and respreading it on the fields during the spring. We're actually utilizing it. So we're definitely saving from a feed loss standpoint. Over the last few years in South Jersey, we have been experiencing drought. It has not been our typical rainfall here, and that has been impacting just about every area of our farm operation. The main one being our feeding. The growth of our pastures, even with using methods like rotational grazing, like no-till, with good pasture management, truthfully, we're still feeling those impacts because it's just been so severe as far as a change in weather here in South Jersey. So, what does that mean? It means that last year we were feeding our animals baleage in August because there was nothing in our burnt up pasture fields for them to eat. And this is not ideal. I mean, typically we are not feeding baleage until November, late October, November, and we were doing this in August. When I say that those pasture fields were bare, that's truly putting it lightly. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. In our next video, we'll be diving into the wrapping process once the hay bales are back on the farm, including the equipment we use and how we store it all winter long for feeding. You don't want to miss it.